Welcome to Demo Derby. First off, I have to apologise about the way this is sort of scripted and put together. Originally, I recorded gameplay footage like I normally would do with the microphone, and the microphone audio didn't save. So, although you'll be able to hear my voice during the singing parts, you won't be able to hear my voiceover. So as such, I've had to create new voiceover. So I apologise in advance for that. So, on this Demo Derby, we're taking a look at SingStar Rocks and SingStar 80s. We just got the news last week that Sony has shut down London Studios. By closing down London Studios, PlayStation has essentially painted a picture that they are no longer interested in fun. Because the London Studios was always associated with SingStar, with iToy, Buzz Games, stuff that was very party-based, and essentially taking that away has now made it very clear where PlayStation's interest lies. Their interest lies in pleasing their shareholders. If massive games like Spider-Man 2, that would be their fastest selling game in absolutely forever, still leads to layoffs in the companies that produce them, it doesn't paint a very good image for the video game industry. It doesn't paint an image that Sony cares very much about fun. It paints an image that they care about their shareholders more than giving their consumers great experiences. So initially there would have been some voiceover as I was talking during the recording, but that unfortunately is no longer possible. So I guess I'm going to have to kind of share my thoughts on these demos in a more sort of off-the-cuffy, sort of post-situational. These SingStar demos impressed me because not only do they have a large number of songs, SingStar Rocks has 4 songs that you can play, and SingStar 80s has 5 songs. These are full-length songs. You can play them in single-player or in multiplayer. It's crazy. Most demos from around this point in time would give you a few minutes of gameplay and then take you to a black screen and say, "Buy the game, moron." The SingStar team were so confident in what they had built that they were happy to give you 4 songs, licensed songs, to play in the demo with absolutely no restrictions whatsoever. They were happy to do that because they knew that these demos would make you go out and buy the full game. Case in point, SingStar Rocks I think was the first SingStar that I bought, and that's because I had played SingStar Rocks. I'm not sure if I'd played the demo or if I'd played SingStar Rocks at Play.com Live. I'm not sure if it was at Play.com Live or if it was at the Video Game Museum. It was one of them. I went to both places as part of my college course, and I can't remember which one had SingStar Rocks, but I remember singing 1985 by Bowling for Soup, which I'm surprised isn't in the demo. So the SingStar Rocks demo has Gwen Stefani, What Are You Waiting For?, Song 2 by Blur, The Killers, Somebody Told Me, and Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. The SingStar 80s demo has Atomic by Blondie, Culture Club, Karma Chameleon, The Final Countdown by Europe, Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds, and Wake Me Up Before You Go Go by Wham. All of these are big hits. All of these are songs that most people know. So it's crazy to have well-known songs in a SingStar demo. All of those songs playable as much as you like. You wouldn't need to go out and buy SingStar Rocks or SingStar 80s because you've already got big songs there on a demo disc that you could sing anytime you like. They were so confident that the quality of the SingStar games would come through in the demo that they were happy to give you those songs to sing. So I experienced a lot of problems with the game registering my scores and inputs properly, which I put down to emulating these games. I don't think the SingStar games emulate particularly well. I know for a fact that I do a lot better on hardware. If you want to challenge me to fire up the PS3 and show you my expert singing on Fact, A Fact of Life, I am more than happy to prove to you my skills. I'm more than happy to show you that I can get a very high score on Number 1 by Tinchy Strider. So I know that a lot of my score issues here are down to emulation. At the very beginning, trying to get this to work, the sound was very crunchy and staticky. I've been using a Logitech USB microphone. It's not the exact kind you'd be using for SingStar, but it is compatible with SingStar on PS3. So I know for a fact that this is the standard mic that, you'd probably be using on PS3 to play SingStar. So it's an emulation-based issue, and that didn't detract from me having any fun, because I certainly had lots of fun playing these two demos, even with the technical issues. And even now, having to try to remember all the things I thought and said while I was recording because the microphone didn't record properly is another matter entirely. What I'm trying to say in a roundabout way, I guess, to try and get things back on track, because unfortunately, everything broke trying to make this video. I want us to remember the London studio we love, and love the London studio we remember. If that sounds like nonsense, it is. I'm trying to sound very smart and clever. There is a difference of at least 700 points caused by the emulation setup. Because I have got 10,000 on this on PS3 SingStar. That is the maximum score. So I know this is an emulation fault.
That's what I'm telling myself.
Compared to long, narrative-driven Sony games that we get today, it was all about just turning up at a friend's house, having a shit ton of alcohol, getting 10,000 points on Karma Chameleon. Like, that's what it was all about. That era. And that's the London studio that I want to remember. We're seeing the video game industry hemorrhaging people right now. Creative talents all across the board, everywhere, getting removed. And it's sad. It's sad to see. And playing these two SingStar demos kind of reminded me of happier times. Times that were less cynical. Times where, yes, the intention was to put out a product that would sell, but also to make people feel happy about themselves. SingStar was always a great icebreaker, especially if it was a group of people you didn't know. It was a great way to just get to know people. The whole world has been made very insular and very introverted, thanks to various things that have happened in the past however many years. Changes in the world that have made everyone so cynical and so understandably protective of themselves. And I just miss the times of, hey, we've got a party. Do you wanna come in and sing some SingStar? Do you wanna come in and play some Rock Band?
Charlie says never give too much of a game away for free in the demo, otherwise they won't go out and buy the full game. Charlie also says you're a cunt.
I know that I myself am going to be looking into more experiences like SingStar and Rock Band over the rest of this year, because I miss feeling good about myself. And I don't feel good about myself when I sit in front of a 100-hour, story-driven, cutscene-filled, molasses-slow video game. I feel good about myself when I'm jumping up and dancing around and singing and just having a good time. That's what SingStar's all about. I feel like I've rambled enough. I could probably get enough voiceover out of this to put a video together. Great. So, based on these two demos, yes, I would have absolutely rushed out and bought SingStar Rocks or SingStar 80s based on these demos. The SingStar games never were absurdly expensive, and they went down in price pretty quick, and there were always offers on them. Nowadays, you can get the SingStar titles from as little as £1 in some charity shops, £1.50, and collecting them was a lot of fun in the PS3 era, because these PS2 SingStar games, you could put them in your PS3, and using the SingStar app, which in the later years was included in the PS3 firmware itself, you could put in these PS2 discs. Even if your PlayStation 3 could not play PS2 games, you could load up the SingStar app, put the PS2 discs in, and play the songs off the PS2 discs. And that was wild to me. Music licensing in video games is always a pain in the ass, and the idea that they had these licenses going into the future so that you could still play the old songs on the new SingStar was crazy to me at the time. So collectors, get on collecting these SingStar games, because there's still a lot of fun to be had just playing them on a PS3. Yeah, I can reminisce over SingStar all day. It's a game I always enjoyed, and it's a shame to see London studio go, because this is the London studio I remember. This has been Demo Derby, but of course you already knew that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This episode of Demo Derby is something of a little special because of what's been happening. So this one was released to everybody at the same time. If you want to see other episodes of Demo Derby, there are a ton right now that are only available to members, and they are being trickled out slowly to everyone. If you want to see them now, become a channel member. Until next time.